The actual beginning, though it's not really the beginning, but the actual flash point was, I remember very clearly. I can still see the corner in my house in 20 Northmore Road where it happened. I got an enormous pile of exam papers there, and marking school examinations in the summertime is an enormous, very laborious, and unfortunately also boring. And I remember picking up a paper, and actually if I nearly gave an extra mark for it, extra 5 marks, actually. There was one page on this particular paper was left blank. Glorious. Nothing to read. So I scribbled on it, I can't think why. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. I think that was eventually published in 1937. I now wanted to try my hand at writing a really stupendously long narrative and to see whether I had sufficient art, cunning, or material to make a really long narrative which would hold the average reader right through. The best, one of the best forms for a long narrative is, as was found in The Hobbit, though this is a much more elaborate form, of the pilgrimage on journey with an object. So that was inevitably the form I adopted. This was all blocked. Of two very English and extremely British parents. I think it was a kind of double coming home, which made the effect of the ordinary English meadows, countryside, breaks so immensely important to me. I was, on the whole, a rather puny, over-mothered, timid little creature who was not much of a success. I eventually became a fairly ordinary scholar who turned out to be good at rugby football, of all odd things. Let me say at once that owing to the casualties in the war and various other things, there are very few people to elect. Too big a job for me, really. Which means to say that I was legally removed. But it could be in the springtime when that tree wouldn't look sad, but covered with leaves, you see. Look old but not sad. And these that looks like kind of plain, doesn't it, something? Whatever that tree is, and these are limes. But all the limes have such a, however old they are, they're lovely green in spring. I have always, for some reason, I don't know why, been enormously attracted by trees. All my works is full of trees. I suppose I have actually, in some simple-minded form of longing, actually would like to. I should have liked to be able to make contact with a tree and find out what it feels about things. I first began seriously to invent languages about when I was 13 or 14. I've never stopped, really. Languages have a flavour to me, which I never understand people saying, for instance, it was awfully dry and dull, because a new language to me is just like taking a new wine or a new sweetmeat or something. What I'm doing now is to try and write in Elvish, which my writing is very inferior to the Elv. Their standard greeting when meeting, a star shines upon our meeting. Oh, God. I made a mistake, didn't I? And that stands for Ellen, Sila, Rumen, the Elvo. Well, it's a rather beautiful language, I think. I wouldn't mind other people knowing it and enjoying it. But I didn't really want to make, like some people who've been equally inventive in language have done, sort of make cults and have people all speaking it together. No, I don't desire to go and have afternoons talking Elvish to chaps. One thing, of course, Elvish is too complicated. I've never finished making it. People do not fully understand the difference between an allegory and an application. You can go to a Shakespeare play and you can apply it to things in your mind if you like, but they're not allegories. At least most of them are not. There's more allegorical elements, for instance, in the Tempest than the most, but certainly, I mean, many people apply to nuclear, the ring, particularly the nuclear bomb, don't they? I think that was in my mind. The whole thing is only an allegory of it. Well, it isn't. One reviewer once said, this is a jolly, jolly book, isn't it? All the right boys come home and they're happy and glad. It isn't true, of course. You can't have read the story. If you really come down to any large story, it interests people, can hold them attention for a considerable time, or make stories, practically always, a human story is practically always about one thing, aren't they? Death. The inevitability of death. I don't know, would you agree with that? But anyway, that is what, there was a quotation from Simon Beau that I read in the paper the other day, which seems to me put it in a nutshell. I think I'll read it. There is no such thing as a natural death. Nothing that happens to man is ever natural.